All right. So as our practice guide shows up on the board here. Oh yeah, looks good. Okay, test for us will be Wednesday. So that'll be the test date for us. Let me click the lights here and we'll get...
Will we get 2-day then?
Yep, same as always. You guys know the drill. Yep. I always like to give you enough time where you can actually work on it. All right. So, on the practice guide itself, we have 2 problems of each type. So we'll go through the directions here in a minute. 2 problems of each section. The last section, there's only 1. We didn't really have any homework on that section yet. But it was just one of those problems I wanted to throw 1 on there because we did talk about it for at least 2 days. So first one, you have to write it in scientific notation. Now, I'll give you the option. Do you want me to do the first or second problem?
First.
First, okay, we'll do the first. Okay, so scientific notation. This is where the decimal's in the back. You need to move it to the front, behind the first number, and then you can chop off any zeros. So when we move the decimal, what is my number now?
5.2.
5.2, okay, so 5.2. And then we're going to take it times 10, and the 10 part, we're going to put a power on it, and that's how many decimal places we moved it. So it was in the back, how many spots did you move it so it's behind the 5?
4.
4 spots, that's your power. That's what you're doing. So you're going to do that in your next one. So the decimal's in the back, you're going to move it to the front, you can chop off all the zeros, you can put a times 10 behind it, and then just count how many spots you moved it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. That's the first one. So you're going to have 2 of those on the test, exactly like that. I'll just give you a number. I don't even care what the number is, it could be anything in the world. It's just whatever the number is, you just move the decimal to the front, count how many spots you moved in, that's the power, on your power of 10. Okay? Alright, let's move to the next one. So pretty easy. I want to go through these pretty quick today, because we're only going to do a select few, because there's 13 questions. My goal is to get through about probably 6 or 7-ish.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, let's keep going here, because today is kind of easy. Keep them very, very simple today. All right, next ones. Now we're going to write the decimals in scientific notation. Now, is there any one you want me to do here? 3 or 4?
4. 3.
3. Okay, we'll do number 3. All right, so again, same exact idea. We're going to move the decimal, but now this time, we're going to have to move it behind the farthest number. That is the first number, not the zeros. So in our case, I have to move it behind the 5. So it's 5.6, okay? Times 10. Now, how many spots did I move my decimal?
6.
6 spots. And since this number is less than $1, it has to be a -6. Because you're moving the decimal to the right, so you have to put a negative sign on it. Again, it has to be behind the first number on basically the right side as you work your way down. No zeros. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, and that's what you're going to do for yours, and you'll have a negative power since it is less than 1. And if you only had to move it 1, fine, just put times 10 to the power of 1. So, but that's what I'm looking for. Can you write down your number? Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on. We're going to move on to 5 and 6. Alright, now these, 5 and 6, these are my last 2 today. On these particular problems, we're going to be long dividing them, and that means you have to move the decimal. So if there's a decimal on the outside, we have to move it. So like on this one, we'd have to move the decimal. So, which one do you want me to do? Either one you want.
6.
6? Okay, we'll do number 6 here. Alright, so I'm going to need to move the decimal. So the decimal is going to move over 2 spots, it's going to be behind the 6. So it's going to be that 6 is on the outside, right? The decimal is behind it. Now, how many spots did I move the decimal?
1.
How many spots did I move?
2.
2 spots? You have to move the decimal on the inside 2 spots as well. If you move the outside, you have to move the inside. So the number on the inside is 79.8, and you can put zeros back here if you want. I don't care how many you're going to put. But we have to go into the point where we either figure out it's repeating or figure out that it does end. Okay, questions with that so far? Okay, so that's the start. Now we have to actually divide. So this is where we have to use our multiplication charts and whatnot. So 6 can go into 7 exactly 1 time without going over. This is 6 times 1 is 6. We subtract straight down, we get what? The number 1. You bring down the next number, which is 19. All right, so now how close can 6 get to 19 now? It's the closest I can get to 19 without going over. Clever, use your multiplication chart in the very back. Clever.
Yeah. 4. Oh, gosh. 3, 7, 2, 1, 4. No.
Keep going, I think it's in the very, very back. Maybe the very back page, isn't it? There it is.
Might be one more.
There, that one. Alright, so how close can 6 get to 19?
Oh. 18,
18.
so 3.
Okay, so 18. We'll put a 3 up above, and you're gonna subtract and get 19 minus 18 is what, 1? Bring down the next number. So how close can 6 get to 18 again?
Right on.
Right on, so 18, and we put a 3 up above, and that gives me a 0, and it looks like I don't need any of the rest of these, so we actually landed right on. And then the decimal has to go straight up. So there's your answer. That's it.
Okay.
I expect to see on like these two problems, I expect to see that.
Uh,
Okay, so you have to show the work and all that. Okay. Alright, questions on these? I didn't give you the hint, the device or the number on the outside cannot be a decimal, so if you have to move it. I would expect, one of them to be a nice number, the other one to be, something you have to move the decimal, like I had to. Okay, so problem number 5, you probably don't need to move decimals at all. Okay, questions, comments at all?
okay.
Pretty straightforward. Just make sure in your number 5, be careful, there's gonna be a lot of zeros there, so just be careful of that. Okay. The rest of the time now, we're gonna spend on talking about repeating decimals. Now, because I know that's the last section, but I want to at least go through half the review today, and we'll do the other half tomorrow, so we'll start with 7 and work our way through 13 tomorrow.
Okay.
But that's kind of what I want to do. Test is Wednesday. This is the first page. This is basically what you should expect, something very straightforward in this. You can use your multiplication chart. Calculators you'll get to have in front of you, just check answers and whatnot.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it. You guys know the drill.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our new notes now. Let me click the lights, and we'll get to our new section today. So looks like you should be done with that right now. Okay, I'll get rid of the practice down here. Excellent. Okay, notes today. We're going to just do a few. We're in the last section of chapter 4 here. We're in section 412, I think it is. We're going to be writing repeating decimals and fractions. Okay, the goal today, we're just going to do a few of these where we're going to try to convert. So the whole point of this is conversions. So we're going to try to look at, example of 1 or 2, and then we're going to convert. So the first type of example that I want to do, we're going to start with a fraction, and we're going to write its repeating decimal. So we're going to start with fraction, and we're going to work our way to the decimal itself. Okay, I'm going to pull one right out of your book so you can kind of see it. The second type that we're going to do is you're going to make up our own decimal. You're going to make it up, any crazy number you want, and we're going to change it into a fraction. And we're going to look at how to do that and what you need to show, how you're supposed to do it. Okay, got it? And that's going to take a little bit of algebra in the second way. Actually, both methods take a little bit of work, but the second one's probably the more challenging unless you know the shortcut. Okay, which I've been trying to teach you guys. So let's talk about the first one. Let's do a fraction. Let me grab one right out of your book. I'm just going to grab one right out of the book so you can see one that is going to look like the problem for your 13 on your practice guide. Okay. Chapter 4. Alright. Let's see. Decimals that repeat. Let's do 7 over 12. 7 over 12. Alright, here we go. So here's my example. Alright, so 7 over 12. Now, agreed it's a fraction. I want to turn it into a decimal now. I want to turn it into a decimal. Now, I know we can divide it in the calculator and it gives us that. But now, if we're going to do it by hand, 7 goes on the inside and we put a decimal behind it and a lot of zeros. Okay, so and then on the outside, we put the 12. After a while, we should notice kind of what the numbers are that repeat. Okay, now, we'll start off right off from the beginning here. How many times can 12 go into 7?
0.
0 times, okay, so 0. How many times can 12 go into 70?
5.
5 times? That would be what, 60? 5 times 12 is 60. And when you subtract straight down, you get 10. And we bring down the next number, which is 0. So now, 12 can go into 100 how many times? 12 can go into 100. Less than 10, I can tell you that. Because it's got to be a single digit. 12 can go into 100.
196.
96, so what, okay, so 96, and what number is that above? Is that 8?
Yep.
Okay, 8. So then we subtract, and we get 4, because 100 minus 96 is 4. We're bringing down the next number, which is 0. So now, how many times can 12 go into 40?
3.
3 times. And that would be 36. We subtract, we get 4 again. We bring down the next number, which is 0, and then what would happen again?
33.
33. Okay, good. You're starting to see it. There'd just be a bunch of 3s repeating over and over and over. This decimal will come straight out. So the answer we're looking for is this: 0.58, and the 3 was repeating because you already noticed that it was going to be a 3 repeating. Okay, got it? Okay, not bad. Long dividing, you're just trying to do your normal thing. You just bring the decimal up. Usually at one point it does repeat. Okay, hopefully that doesn't happen to you on your prime number.
13.
Yeah, 13. It probably will because it was a repeating decimal. I picked one from the book. All right, now, going the other direction. Writing your own. So I want you to make up any repeating decimal you want. No easy numbers. Make up something that has maybe 2 numbers that repeat over and over and over. We'll start there. So any repeating decimal you want, I want 2 numbers that repeat though, over and over and over. So what number do you want?
39 and 380.
39 and 380?
Yep.
Okay. You want those numbers to repeat over and over and over and over? Okay, so let's say it was this. Let's say it was that.
Okay.
Okay, so this number is repeating. So if I wrote down what this number is, what you just told me, it's 0.39380, 39380, and it would just keep repeating, 39380. Okay. 1 and 2, you gave me a bunch. Okay, do you agree it's big, it's long? Okay, how many numbers are underneath the house? Underneath the bar, I mean?
5.
5 numbers that are repeating. So what you do is to write this as a fraction, you write your number down, the number you just made up that you wanted to repeat, and you put a bunch of 9s on the bottom, and you're going to put how many 9s?
5.
5. That's your answer. That's how it always works. It's just this little crazy little shortcut that works every time to write a repeating decimal. Okay? So type in your calculator. Type in 39380 divided by 99999. Right? 5 9s.
Ah. 8, 0.
Divided by 9999.
3, 9, 12. Yep.
Yeah, it's weird how it always works. You put 9s at the bottom, it repeats the exact number that you need. The only difference is that what would make this problem harder is actually the last one that I just gave you. That problem's harder because it wasn't the same number that repeated every time. It's not like this one where it repeated 39380, 39380. That one had a couple numbers in the front that didn't repeat, but then the back numbers did. That would take a different process than just doing a shortcut. That's the one we were showing last week where you had to set equal to x, put 100 or a 10 out front, subtract straight down, and you get to your fraction eventually. But today, this is what I want you to do. Okay, is to make up your own easy numbers that repeat, and you can double check that it does work. Okay? All right, here's your homework today. Okay? Here's your homework, which pretty easy. It's 10
When
problems.
does it due?
It's going to be due on Wednesday this week. So you have a couple days to work on it. Okay? Here it is. It's page 116, numbers 8 through 12, exercise A. So those are fractions, they want them as repeating decimals, so they want you to do that, so you're practicing dividing. And then, after you're done with these, I want you to make 5 repeating decimals like you just did, and make them a fraction
Okay.
by doing a little shortcut. So it should be like 3 seconds worth of work. 5 repeating decimals, and make them fractions. And make them fractions. And make sure you're picking them easy, that the numbers that you pick are always the numbers of repeat. Don't make any weird ones like this where you know 2 numbers down.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, there you go, there's your homework. It's 10 problems total. Pretty easy.